Então, internautas da Alma Surf, eu estou aqui em backyard junto com o capitão do salva-vidas aqui do North Shore de Oahu, John Hogstedin, e eu não podia perder a oportunidade. Desculpa meu traje, acabei de sair da água. John, how you became a lifeguard?
You know, my family was from New York, and I went to school, and I would work in the summertime as a lifeguard. It was lifeguarding, I would just get into more and more ocean sports, water sports, you know, body surfing, longboarding, shortboarding, windsurfing, kite surfing, canoe paddling, surf ski, kayak paddling, open ocean racing. You know, so they're all things that I've really had a passion for, and just the opportunities opened up.
What's the most common problems that you guys have in the water, and what was the worst scenario that you guys had?
Their eyes are too big for their ability, or they try and paddle out in surf that's bigger than they're used to, bigger than they're comfortable, bigger than they physically are ready for.
I think lifeguards all over the world, they have the problems with tourists, Here in Hawaii, you have problems with real surfers.
We have, our conditions are just, amplified, comes in full force, and a lot of people underestimate that. It creates a greater physical challenge to be successful at.
When you think, the worst scenario that you have to deal with, you remember one? You can say?
This is a while ago. Jumped up from like 2 foot to 25 foot in like 2 hours. 4 people that got knocked off the outside of Sharks Cove, a couple of miles down the road from here. And one of the people was 300 pounds, and I just kept on pushing one person into the wave and another, and I was actually pushing them away from the rip current until I got more help. We were able to rescue everybody, and that was one bad thing. And I've seen some bad traumatic injuries, some bad head injuries, a few internal injuries where people's internal organs have been damaged.
I think it's very hard for a professional like you. On the end of the day, you have to call a family or something, they'll pass away or something like that.
Once there was a woman that came down to Waimea Bay, and her husband had died, and he just hadn't shown up from the night before. And she was like, I left my husband, I dropped him off here yesterday, and we had to tell her, ma'am, there was an incident, and we had no identification for the gentleman, and we had no way to identify, she didn't go looking for him till the next day. So it's a difficult thing. One thing I might add is I think because of the things we experience in our job, sometimes, at least for me, I think it's a coping skill. I have a little short-term memory, and I don't remember, you ask me the worst thing, I'm like, I really have to think hard, because what I like to focus on are the people that we did help, and the people that we did save, and the people that we did make a difference, and the people that come back and thank us.
What's the advice you can give for people who come into Hawaii, as a safety?
Well, I just want to tell people to, this is the Aloha State. Come and enjoy yourself. Use common sense and caution. If you're going to go into the ocean, talk to people who've been there before. Talk to the lifeguards. We're here to help and to direct you so that everybody has a safe day.
It was a big pleasure to talk to you. Isso aí, internautas, ficamos por aqui. Até a próxima aventura aqui no almasurf.com.